Okay, so I had to restart the video because for some reason my screen was really laggy. So now we're headed over to Ephesians chapter 2, and we're going to read 11 through 22. Okay? So wherefore, remember that ye, being in the times past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision, by which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So I just want to speak on this real quick because this kind of talks about how we are no longer Gentiles, but we're grafted into Israel when we become, when we follow the Ten Commandments and become in covenant. That in time, that at that time, ye were without Messiah, being aliens in the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise. The covenants of promise that are spoken of are the Ten Commandments and eating clean, having no hope and without God in the world. But now in Yeshua Messiah, ye who sometimes were far off, made nigh by the blood of Messiah. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make himself of twain one new man, so making peace. So right there, the ordinances, that's talking about the other laws that were made. That's the sacrificial laws. It's not talking about the Ten Commandments. And that he might reconcile both unto God in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. Meaning he's slaying the sacrificial law. You no longer have to get stoned and die for committing all these other things and breaking those laws. Okay? Totally just lost my place. And that he might... And came and preached peace to you which were afar off, and to them that were nigh. For through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints in the household of God, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yeshua Messiah himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for a habitation of God through the Spirit. That pretty much breaks it down, as you only have to follow the covenants of promise, which are the Ten Commandments and eating clean, like I stated. Messiah, when he said it is finished, he got rid of the sacrificial law. It was finished. Why would he go and preach the Ten Commandments unto everybody through his ministry if we weren't supposed to do them, right? But he never preached sacrificial law. I mean, look at the woman that committed adultery. She was about to be stoned, and he said the one that hasn't committed sin may throw the first stone. And everybody left because they've all committed sin. So that's why she never got stoned. But we're going to head on over to Deuteronomy 31 real quick. So I'll meet you over there. Okay. So now we're going to go read verses. Remember, we're in Deuteronomy 31 verses 24 to 26. And it came to pass when Moses had made an end of writing the words of the law, of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it inside of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it might be there for a witness against thee. That was literally Moses writing the sacrificial law. Okay? He had to write that because of what Israel did while he was up there getting the tablets. They made a calf. They turned to these other gods because they didn't want to wait for him to come back down with the tablets. Now we're going to head over to John chapter 19, and I'm going to read you verse 30. Listen here. When Yeshua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Right there, it is finished. He ended the sacrificial law. Okay? Now we're going to head over to Hebrews 8, and we're going to read verse 13. So give me 1 second to flip there. All right, here's the verse. In that he saith, a new covenant he hath made, the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. This is all about ending the sacrificial law, how we're in the refreshing, how Yeshua died to magnify the 10 Commandments, but he rid the sacrificial law. I mean, before I even continue on, why would you even want sacrificial law to still be a thing right now? Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? And yes, there were sacrifices back in Genesis, right? Those food sacrifices unto the Lord and all that stuff. And yes, that was there before the physical sacrificial law was written by Moses, but God was there through it all. God ordained certain things to be done beforehand. God has literally written this to be the way that he wants everything to go. Some things haven't gone the way that he's wanted to go, but that's why he sends his prophets. That's why he sent Yeshua to die and get rid of this sacrificial law that had to be placed. That Messiah gave us the ability to follow the 10 Commandments and just not be the way that we were, right? We don't have to die by stones anymore, okay? So let's continue on. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to flip to Revelation chapter 3, okay? And now we're going to read verse 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remaineth, that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. And this is in the church of Sardis. Now we're going to flip to Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. For an overspread of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consumption that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Okay. So this is literally like leading up to this. If you go up to verse 24 to get like kind of like that context, it's basically talking about the 70 weeks, where basically it's the reconciliation for iniquity, to bring everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and prophecy, to anoint the most holy. Okay, I would go and read all these chapters that I'm bringing up. Read these verses for yourself so that way you can have a better understanding, because I know that when I physically look at these verses, it helps me understand them more as I read them, instead of just having somebody read them to me. Next we're going to go, I thought I stopped the recording there for a second. Next we're going to go to 2 Kings 17:13. So I'm just going to talk for a minute before I go ahead and read this, because I'm almost at 10 minutes. There's only a couple more to go through after this one. There is 6 more things to go through. I should be able to finish them all in the next video. If not, this may be a 4-part video. But again, I'm going to highly recommend go and reread all of these verses for yourself, and go and do some research on who is Israel, okay? Obviously, we're grafted in. I've already said this. I can actually post a link in one of the descriptions that can take you to the website where we have a whole broken down Who is Israel document. And I know